Jaire Alexander released. Should the Raiders make a move? In a move nobody saw coming, star cornerback Jaire Alexander has been released by the Green Bay Packers. And yes, you heard that right. One of the NFL's elite defenders, suddenly up for grabs. Now, the big question is, should the Las Vegas Raiders go after him? Let's be honest, our secondary right now isn't striking fear into anyone. Sure, there's potential, but it's full of question marks. So, when a proven lockdown corner like Alexander becomes available, the conversation needs to happen. According to NFL insider Ian Rapoport, the Packers tried to trade Alexander, but found no takers. It's no surprise. Once a player becomes public trade bait, teams hold back, especially when it comes to someone already on a second contract with years in the league. Still, this isn't just another name on the market. This is a top 5 corner, maybe even the best in the league depending on who you ask. Before we dive deeper into how Alexander fits into the silver and black, quick reminder, Raider Nation. If you're hungry for real, honest Raiders talk, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat. Now, let's get back to the latest Raiders news. Now, looking at our current cornerback room, Jaire Bennett, a 2023 draft pick, is expected to make a leap, and Eric Stokes, who actually played alongside Alexander in Green Bay, is also expected to start. But let's be real. Jaire Alexander is simply on another level, even if Bennett blossoms and Stokes settles in. Adding a veteran like Alexander could instantly elevate the entire defense. So, should the Raiders pounce or pass? Stick around, there's more to unpack. Let's be clear, Jaire Alexander isn't just another cornerback on the market. He's the kind of rare defensive talent who can thrive in any system. Unlike corners who are only effective in a specific scheme, think back to Richard Sherman's cover 3 dominance in Seattle, Alexander is scheme-proof. Man-to-man, zone, press coverage, he can do it all, and do it well. This kind of versatility is exactly what the Las Vegas Raiders could use right now. Our current secondary is full of what-ifs and question marks. Darian Porter, promising but still unproven. Eric Stokes, has the tools, but has struggled to stay consistent, especially in recent seasons, with a noticeable drop in snap count and production. And yes, he was once behind Alexander on the Packers' depth chart. That alone says something. Then there's Jaire Bennett, a player showing flashes of talent, but still trying to find his place in a new system. Will year 3 be the breakout? Or will he remain on the fringe of the starting lineup? It's too early to say. And let's not forget Lonnie Johnson Jr., currently slotted to play inside. The question is, can he lock that spot down for an entire season? Or will the secondary continue to be shuffled week after week, searching for stability? With so many unknowns in the defensive backfield, bringing in a proven playmaker like Alexander might not just be smart, it could be game-changing. There's no denying it. The Raiders' cornerback room is filled with uncertainty. You've got rookies like Cameron Richardson, a 4th-round pick with raw potential, but no real NFL experience. Then there are undrafted guys like John Humphrey and Mello Dodson fighting just to make the roster. Could they pan out? Maybe. But are they ready to face the AFC's elite wide receivers? That's a gamble. Darnay Holmes is getting some first-team reps, but let's ask the real question. Is it because he's earned it, or because the Raiders don't have better options? This is exactly why Jaire Alexander needs to be part of the conversation. And here's the best part. The Raiders don't have to give up draft picks. No 3rd rounder, no conditional 4th. He's available right now, for free. The only cost? His contract. Now, let's be fair. Alexander has had injury concerns. That's why some teams hesitated. It's also why the Raiders might think twice. We've seen that kind of cautious approach before. Just look at how the team has handled Nate Hobbs, another talented player with availability issues. Dave Ziegler and Champ Kelly may prefer players who aren't as flashy, but can suit up for all 17 games. That's probably why someone like Jaire Bennett is still in the mix. He hasn't proven he's elite, but the team trusts his availability. But here's the dilemma. Do you settle for healthy but average? Or do you take a shot on elite talent, even if it comes with risk? The Raiders' path forward in the secondary could come down to this decision. Playing it safe might keep the depth chart stable, but going bold with a player like Jaire Alexander, that's how you change a defense overnight. Let's be honest, the Raiders can't keep rolling the dice on what-ifs. Jacorian Bennett might turn into something special, but right now, it's all projection. And that's where things get risky. If Las Vegas is serious about building a defense that can actually hold its own in the AFC, then it's time to look at real, proven talent, not just raw upside. Yes, Jaire Alexander has had injuries, but when healthy, he's a lockdown corner, the kind you build a secondary around. And here's the wild part. You could bring him in without giving up a single draft pick, just a smart contract, maybe 2 years, one fully guaranteed, and a team option on the second. Simple, flexible, and low risk. It's moves like this that separate contenders from teams just hoping to compete. Now, some fans might dream even bigger. Imagine pairing Alexander with another superstar. But even just adding one high-caliber defensive back could flip this entire unit's trajectory. The Raiders have the cap space. What they need is the will to make a bold move. Because right now, this secondary is more question marks than answers. And if this team wants to survive in a division with elite quarterbacks, you need more than just potential. You need a playmaker. You need someone who changes games. And Jaire Alexander, he could be that guy. Let's talk facts. The Raiders' defense beyond the front line is a giant question mark. Linebackers? Uninspiring. Devin White, once a freak athlete who could chase down anyone, looks like a shadow of his former self. Sure, he's only 26, but 6 hard NFL seasons have taken their toll. That burst, that sideline-to-sideline speed, not what it used to be. Then there's Elandon Roberts. He's tough, experienced, and physical. But, let's be honest, is he really a full-time answer in today's high-speed, pass-heavy NFL? Right now, he's penciled in to play nearly every snap. That says more about the lack of depth than his dominance. And that's the real issue. Depth, playmaking, reliability. The Raiders are missing all three. There's talk around the league, guys like Jermaine Pratt, a seasoned linebacker with leadership and top 10 production, have suddenly hit the market. That's the type of veteran presence this defense desperately needs. Someone who's proven, someone who makes others better. Because, let's face it, if the Raiders don't get serious about strengthening the middle and back end of their defense, they're going to get exposed, fast. The line has potential, but the second and third levels, still a mystery. And in the NFL, uncertainty loses games. The Raiders have a choice to make. Keep patching holes with aging vets, or build something real with fresh talent. Look, guys like Elandon Roberts, Devin White, and even Jermaine Pratt, they're all cut from the same cloth. Seasoned, experienced, but not the long-term answer. Pratt might be the best of the bunch, but at the end of the day, he's still a short-term fix. What the Raiders really need? Youth, development, upside. They've already taken steps. Cody Lindenberg is a name to watch. Tommy Eichenberg came in last season. But, honestly, Eichenberg didn't flash much. In fact, Amari Gaynor outperformed him. And Gaynor? That guy could be a hidden gem. Fast, aggressive, instinctive. He might just be the breakout linebacker nobody saw coming. Still, the mission is far from complete. Vegas must keep stacking young, hungry players. Why? Because even if they have cap space now, they're looking ahead. Max Crosby's deal? It's going up. Christian Wilkins? Same. Colton Miller wants a new contract. Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty? They're future stars, and future big-time paydays. And what about Malcolm Kuntz? If he evolves into a top 10 edge rusher, which he very well could, you're looking at $25 million a year. That's why the front office is being careful. Smart, even. But still. Imagine a defense with Jaire Alexander, Jalen Ramsey, and Jermaine Pratt. Game-changing veterans with something to prove. Add that to what the Raiders are building, and suddenly this defense looks dangerous. And here's a bonus. Pratt already has connections in the locker room. He's been teammates with guys like Jacoby Myers and A.J. Cole. Chemistry matters. So does leadership. Bottom line, the Raiders are walking a tightrope between future planning and present potential. And how they handle that could define their season, and maybe even their era. Let's shift gears for a second and talk about Jackson Powers Johnson, specifically his ranking among NFL centers. Now, I've had people hit me up, saying, hey, did you see that PFF ranked JPJ as the 17th best center in the league? And I get it, it sounds crazy. I've always said Jackson Powers Johnson has star potential, so seeing him ranked that low definitely raises eyebrows. But here's the thing. That ranking, it's not the official stance of Pro Football Focus as a company. It's just the opinion of one writer, Mason Cameron. This isn't some company-wide verdict from PFF leadership. It's just a take from one analyst. Keep that in mind. Now, to be fair, I agree with their top choice. Creed Humphrey as the number 1 center? Absolutely. No debate there. But after that, things get sketchy. Tyler Linderbaum at number 2. Okay, he's solid. Zach Frazier? I like him too. Eric McCoy, Drew Dahlman, Aaron Brewer, decent players. Ryan Kelly and Graham Glasgow? Good vets. Glasgow's played mostly guard, though. Froholdt from Arizona had a great first year at center. I respect that. Joe Tipman was a first-rounder, but hasn't lived up to that yet. And John Michael Schmitz reminds me of Andre James, gets pushed around a little. No disrespect, but none of these guys should be ahead of Jackson Powers Johnson. This guy's tape speaks for itself. Powerful, agile, smart, and a natural leader on the line. He's not just a promising rookie. He's a tone setter for this offensive line moving forward. Bottom line, JPJ being ranked 17th is laughable. He's already better than most of the names ahead of him, and once the season starts, I promise you, he's going to prove it on the field. It's not even close. Jackson Powers Johnson is on a different level. And you know what really throws me off? PFF ranked Cam Jurgens as the 13th best center. Now that right there tells me someone didn't watch the tape. If I'm making a list of the best centers in football, it goes number 1, Creed Humphrey, 2, Cam Jurgens. No hesitation. Cam Jurgens has already proven himself, and more importantly, he just got paid. The Eagles made him one of the highest paid centers in the league, if not the highest. And let's be real, Howie Roseman doesn't throw money around for fun. If Jurgens is commanding that kind of contract, it's because he's one of the best, period. So to see Jurgens at 13 and JPJ all the way down at 17, it's straight up disrespectful. Now, let's talk about what the writer actually said. He points out that JPJ's rookie year had mixed results because he split time between center and guard. But then he admits that when Jackson lined up at center, he earned a 70.7 PFF grade, which the writer calls a top 12 mark. But here's the thing. I checked those numbers. A 70.7 grade actually puts him closer to the top 5 or 6 centers, not just top 12. So, which is it? If he's producing like a top 5 center when playing his actual position, then why in the world is he ranked 17th? And just to give you some perspective, Zach Frazier, the guy Pittsburgh drafted, went after the Raiders took JPJ. But before that, Steelers fans were begging for Powers Johnson. The second the Raiders got him, they pivoted to Frazier. Look, both guys are talented, but let's not rewrite history here. Jackson Powers Johnson was the prize. He's already proving it, and that 17th place ranking. It's going to look ridiculous real soon. People were disappointed, no doubt about it, when the Steelers ended up with Zach Frazier instead of Jackson Powers Johnson. Now, don't get me wrong. Frazier is a really, really solid center. I believe he came out of West Virginia, a program known for churning out elite offensive linemen. They've got a phenomenal O-line coach over there. His name escapes me at the moment, but he's top tier. West Virginia consistently produces NFL-ready linemen, and I think a guard from that school went in the 2nd or 3rd round this year too. So, yeah, Frazier deserves to be in the top 5. I won't argue with that. But here's the part that bugs me. If you're going to rank players the way Mason Cameron does, ask yourself this. Do you really believe this guy is watching film on every single center in the NFL? And not just centers. He's putting out rankings for quarterbacks, running backs, corners, linebackers, you name it. Each position has 32 starters, sometimes more. Some positions, like wide receiver or linebacker, have multiple starters per team. That's easily over 600 players. Let's be real. Nobody is watching that much tape and breaking it all down accurately on their own. But I do. I study offensive line play. I spend a huge chunk of my life watching centers, guards, tackles, breaking down every single snap. And I'm telling you, this isn't Raider bias. Jackson Powers Johnson is special, like truly special. He's one of the best defensive linemen I've ever watched, period. And I don't say that lightly. The only other guy I've seen on that level recently, Penei Sewell. That's the kind of rare company JPJ belongs in. We've had elite guys for years, Tyron Smith, Lane Johnson, absolute monsters. But when it comes to prospects coming out of college, only a few have truly jumped off the screen for me, Penei Sewell and Jackson Powers Johnson. Both those guys are dominant. So, yeah, I think these rankings are wild. If I'm making my list, here's how I'd rank the top centers right now. Creed Humphrey at number 1, Cam Jurgens at number 2, Jackson Powers Johnson at number 3. And honestly, JPJ might leapfrog both of them in a year or two. Now, Creed Humphrey, let's be fair, he came out of college doing the same violent, dominant stuff JPJ does now, tossing guys around. JPJ might do it more often, but Humphrey's been that dude, number 1 for 5 straight years. That's the kind of trajectory JPJ is on, and it's scary. As for Tyler Linderbaum, I don't think he's as good as the hype. He gets pushed back more than people want to admit. And don't even get me started on PFF grades. I think their system is flat out flawed. Take Drew Dahlman, for example. Solid player, but the Falcons replaced him with zero hesitation. That tells you something. He's a system fit, not a generational talent. And credit where it's due. Atlanta's O-line coach is elite. He developed Chris Lindstrom, arguably the best right guard, and Matthew Bergeron, who became a top-tier left guard. That coaching staff can plug guys in and get results. So, Dahlman, good player, not top 5. That's a stretch. Another one that's just flat-out disrespectful. Lloyd Cushenberry at number 20. Come on, that dude is a top 10 center, no question. Same with Graham Barton. He's definitely top 10. Now, Barton did get drafted ahead of JPJ, and I don't agree with that. That was a move by John Spytek, and yeah, it's debatable, but it's done. At the end of the day, this ranking, it's just one writer, one guy, one opinion, not gospel. But still, ranking Jackson Powers Johnson that low, it's just disrespectful. Let's wrap this up with a Damon Arnette update. Someone tagged me on Instagram earlier today. Turns out former Raiders cornerback Damon Arnette is getting a workout with the Houston Texans. This report came from Aaron Wilson, who mentioned the Texans worked out a few players from the UFL's Houston Roughnecks, and Arnette was one of them. Now, we don't know exactly when the workout happened, probably yesterday, but the report just came out today. And yeah, Damon Arnette is trying to make an NFL comeback. And look, I know this opinion might not sit well with some Raiders fans, but I genuinely hope he gets another shot. Yeah, I get it. He was the 19th overall pick, and he completely wasted that opportunity with the Raiders. He didn't care about football, let's be real. He flat out didn't care. He got arrested. He was caught with drugs. He had videos floating around that made it clear his head wasn't in the game. It was a disaster, and that's how most Raider fans will remember him. But here's the thing. When I spent time at the Hula Bowl around a lot of these players, I saw something. These guys mature, they grow. And sometimes, life humbles you. If Damon Arnette has grown up, if he's cleaned up his life, and he's ready to work, then I say give him a shot. That's just my opinion. And I know not everyone will agree, but I wanted to say it. One thing I've realized from spending time around these players is that a lot of them are basically just kids. Yeah, technically they're adults, 20, 21, 22 years old, but mentally they're still developing. And I think that was a big part of Damon Arnette's story. When he came to the Raiders, he wasn't ready. At Ohio State, they take care of their players. They baby them, honestly. They're treated like stars, and they're not really held accountable the way they are in the NFL. So when Arnette hit the league, he was unprepared for the transition. But here's the thing, he's trying to turn it around. Some people say, oh, he just wants money. He probably ran out. I don't buy that. I'm sure he's still financially okay, at least for now. The difference is, he's putting in the work. He's been playing in the UFFL for a couple of years now, and he's actually having a solid season. In 8 games, he's posted 18 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pick 6 for 51 yards, 5 pass breakups. So, yeah, he's not just talking. He's playing, he's grinding, and I truly hope he figures it out, gets his opportunity, and most importantly, stays on a positive path moving forward. And honestly, I really do hope it works out for Damon Arnette. Everyone deserves a second chance if they're putting in the work and trying to change. But now I want to hear from you guys. Should the Raiders go out and sign some free agents? Should we bring in more talent or stick with the roster we've got? And what about Jackson Powers Johnson? Do you agree with the ranking? Should he be higher, lower? What's your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate every single one of you.